So hi guys, hope you are all okay. We are going to start completing the square, and I don't think we'll be able to complete this topic in 1 hour, so which means we're going to continue this topic next week. So before we start completing the square, I'm going to show you the answer for last week's session. So this was one of the homework that I gave you. If you have a camera, take the picture now, and then you can check your answers afterwards. So I'll keep you there for a minute. And this is the second part of the homework for this question. So have a look at this and also take a picture of this, please. So just in case you're not sure what happened here, is we use a formula as A plus B, that's area of trapezium, times the height, vertical height, everything divided by 2. So this is the formula for area of trapezium. 2x is your height, x minus 4 is your A, and x plus 5 is your B. And that's what happened over here. Okay. Right, so we're going to start with our topic today, which is the solving by completing the square. That is what we are aiming to achieve today. Now, sorry, my webcam is not working because I have technical problem. If you were looking at yesterday, I couldn't do the session, and that my internet is a little bit slow, maybe, or my equipment has done something, and my what you call it, you won't see this, it may be a little bit blurred. Okay, so I'll try and fix this as soon as possible, guys, but I thought I'll carry on with this session today. So when we are looking to solve by completing the square, we need to put the quadratic expression, which is in this form, into this form. So we may have this number here or may not have. So it may just be this part. So you always have x here, and then plus or minus and a constant here, and then we have this bracket closed, and then squared plus or minus something, another square there. Now, why do we want to do completing the square? Do we just have nothing to do, nothing better to do? No. Well, we can solve quadratic equations. We can use that by deriving the formula, and we can solve obviously by using this completing the square. We can sketch quadratic equations. I was talking about sketching quadratic equation, so we are going to learn that probably next week. We're going to find what this minimum point is and what these points are and the y-intercept. So we're going to do that next week, because I don't think we'll be able to cover that today in this session. Okay, so we are going to also, well, we're not learning this one because this is A-level maths and this is degree university topic, but there are a lot of applications in completing the square. When we find minimum or maximum, there are a lot of real life situations where this come into place. Now, you can say hello. Oh, hello. Sorry guys, I forgot to look at the my chat, so I think I've got Path there. Hi, how are you? Now what I'm going to do now is show you how to complete the square. So here is one example that I have, x squared plus x. Now we want to put this x squared plus 6x into this form where we have x plus p into bracket squared plus q, where p and q are constants. So the first thing we want to do is just open your bracket and square it, and just put your x over here. And it's always a minus here to start with. So what comes next then? Well, we got a plus here, so we're going to put plus here, and then we need to halve this one. So half of 6 is 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. You leave it like that, and then minus this number squared. So minus 3 squared. Don't worry about this minus, is not related to this sign over here. So if it is minus there, it's still minus here. If it is plus here, it's still minus there. So minus 3 squared. And now you can write this as x plus 3 squared minus 9. And this is the answer to this question. The next example then, what we have here is x squared plus 8x plus 1, and we want to put this in the completing square form, which is this form here. Right, what I want you to do is focus on the terms of with variables. So x squared plus 8x in this case. What do we have? Well, we've got a bracket, and then we have our x here, and then we're going to square and just put the minus. Now on this side, I'm just going to put the plus 1 on its own at this point. Now we need to halve the coefficient of x, so it must be in this form where you have x squared first, and then 8x, and then a constant. So half of 8 is 4, and there's a plus here, so that's going to be plus 4. And then minus this number squared, so minus 4 squared. So this is now going to be x plus 4 squared minus 16 plus 1. So the final answer to this is x plus 4 squared minus 15. Minus 16 plus 1 is minus 15. So therefore P is equal to 4 and Q is equal to negative 15. Okay. Okay, so this is my next example then. We have x squared minus x plus 4. First thing we want to do is open our bracket and square it, and then have x here, and I'm just going to put my minus there. And this constant is plus 4, so I'm going to write it over here on its own before anything. Now I'm going to halve this number, so 6 divided by 2 is 3. The sign here is negative, so negative 3. And we need to take away is this number squared, so take away 3 squared. So this is going to be x minus 3 squared minus 9 plus 4. So this is going to be equal to x minus 3 squared minus 9 plus 4 is minus 5. Okay, and that's the answer to that one. Hi, Pav, I am well. Thank you very much. I hope you are okay and you're having fun at home. Right, so this is the answer to this one, guys. If you have any comments, please leave me a message on the comment section. So this is my last example before I give you some work to do. Okay, so we need to complete the square here. So the answer to this one, open your bracket, and then we have x, and I'll put minus there. Remember to square this, and then put your minus 3. So the constant, just separate that. Now what we have, We have a plus here, so we're going to put plus, and then we need to half the 10. Half of 10 is 5, and then we're going to subtract this number squared, so minus 5 squared. So this is going to be equal to x plus 5 squared minus 25 minus 3. So therefore this is going to be x plus 5 squared minus 25 minus 3 is minus 28. So hopefully you understand so far what is going on. Alright guys, so I'm going to give you some exercise here. If you just try and do some questions, not all of them, and then I will display all the answers. But if you want to do all of them, please take a picture of this, and then you can finish the rest of the questions afterwards. But just try to do some random questions, maybe 1 and then 3 or something like that. Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to complete this, so go ahead and do as many questions as you can. 10 minutes. So if you want me to help with some questions, any one of these questions, you can choose one question for me to do, but I would really want you to try most of this yourself. All right, guys, so we have 5 more minutes to do a few more questions on this. So we have 3 more minutes, guys. So if you have tried a question and then you've got it wrong, you're not sure why you have got it wrong, please send me a comment and I will try to do that question. But I'll probably just try one question and then just move on. If you just tell me which number it is, please. All right, if you want me to do any of the questions, I'm going to give you a minute to reply. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to different types of quadratic expressions. So far, if you've noticed, they are all x squared only. I'm going to move on with ones that have maybe 2x squared or 5x squared and so on. So, waiting. Alright, so once you're doing that, I'm going to reveal the answers. Please take a picture of this so you can have a go at them afterwards. So these are the answers, okay? Let me know if you have got the one that you've tried, you've got it wrong. Obviously, guys, the last one here with all these expression is a challenge for you to do. So have a go if you like. But that's just to extend your mathematical algebraic techniques, okay? Right, I'm now going to move on to the next part because okay, so I think Mohammed was going to say something, or should I wait? Alright, you can tell me later on or just continue, but I'm going to move on to the next part of this session. Alright, so far, like I've said, we have done one with x squared. That means the coefficient of x squared was just 1. What do we do when the coefficient of x squared is not 1? Okay. So here is an example. We have 3x squared plus 12x minus 6, and we need to put this into this form. Okay. Now the reason why there's a here, that's because the coefficient of x squared is not 1, it is 3. So the coefficient, remember the number that is next to x squared in this case, or coefficient of x here is 12. What do we need to do first? Well, we need to factorize. We cannot complete the square if you have 3x squared or 5x squared. We need to have just 1x squared. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is factorize. We're going to have 3 here and then x squared, because 3 is common everywhere. So 3 and then x squared plus 12, 3 is outside, we need to have a 4 here. Now, like I said before, I want you to separate this constant, okay? So we're just going to write minus 6 here. So far, we've got this part. This is the part we're going to deal with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do that part separately over here, and then I'm going to put it back here, because if you try to do it all in one go, sometime you may have you may make some errors. So we're going to complete the square on just that part. So x squared plus 4. What do we need to do? Well, we have sorry guys, this is 4x, so that's 4x. We're going to have our bracket, and then we're going to have our x square there, and then a minus. This needs to be halved, and there's a plus there, so that's going to be 2, and then minus this number square, so 2 squared is 4. Okay, so if you complete the square, this part, you will get this part. Now I'm going to put this part back in here. So I have 3, and then I am going to open this extra bracket. So we have bracket x squared, sorry guys, I'm gonna delete that or take that out. It's not x squared there. So that's x plus 2 squared minus 4. And then I'm going to close the bracket, and then I have minus 6 here. you need to be very careful because we have this 3 outside and this 3 belongs to everything that was here before. Okay, so remember, when we completed the square, this part, this is this whole thing, that is what we got. Now we're going to put the 3 back. Okay, so the 3 needs to go here, and then it needs to go to this 4 as well, negative 4. So we're now going to have 3 bracket x plus 2 squared minus 3 times 4, 12, and then I separated this negative 6, so I'm now putting it back there. So to finish off, you have 3x plus 2 squared, negative 12, negative 6, that is negative 18. So this is the answer to this question. Okay, guys? Right, so this is another question that we have. It is 2 take away 4x, take away 2x squared. And we are asked to put it in the form of minus b and then bracket x plus c squared. What do we do? Well, before we do anything, we need to rearrange this, okay? So we need to have the x squared part to start with at the beginning of the expression. So I'm going to rearrange. Remember, this belongs to, the negative belongs to the term on the right, and this as well. So if we rewrite this, we will have minus 2x squared minus 4x and then plus 2. So similarly, what do? We're going to factorize, because the coefficient of x squared is not 1, is negative 2. Now the other thing you need to look at is we cannot have negative x squared. So we're going to take negative 2 outside. Now remember, I separate my constant there. So I'm just going to deal with this part first. So minus 2, okay? And then inside I have x squared. Now remember, what do I have here? I have a minus 4. So minus is already outside. To keep my negative, I need to have plus. Now I have 2 outside, so I need to have 2x here. Okay, and then I still have my plus 2 here. Now I'm going to complete the square on this part. I'm going to do it over here so it is clear for us, and then we're going to put it back. So we have x squared plus 2x. Okay, now we're going to complete the square. We're going to open a bracket, squared, and then x plus half of 2 is 1, so we're going to have x plus 1. And then we're going to take away this number squared. So 1 squared is just 1. So this whole thing here gives us this. Okay, now I'm going to put this back into here. So I've got minus 2. Remember, I'm going to open those square brackets now. So x plus 1 and then squared minus 1. I'm going to close my square bracket, and then I have my plus 2. So I try to leave the constant alone, because other people try to mix them up and then it goes all wrong. Now I'm done with this. I'm going to put this back into here and then into there as well. Okay, so my final answer, well, not my final answer, this will be minus 2, and then I have my bracket x plus 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1, that's going to be plus 2. Okay, and then I have my plus 2 from before. So the final answer is going to be minus 2 x plus 1 squared plus 4. This is your final answer. All right, guys, so I want you to try some of these questions here and then let me know if you want me to try maybe one or two of these questions on the chat, okay? Again, I think I will give you about what's the time now? I'll give you about maybe about 8 minutes to do as many as you can, okay? You don't need to do all of them. Guys, you're very quiet today. No one is talking. I'm hoping you're working hard. Could you let me know if you're working hard on that chat, please? Just say yes or no. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mohammed. Hi, Hamza. Thank you, Hamza. Nice to have you here. And thank you for the blessing. Bless you too for taking up your Saturday. Hamza, asante. So Hamza, I'm going to say it in Swahili for you guys. If you guys, some of you don't understand Swahili, sorry. I'm just going to say to Hamza that he can ask me questions in Swahili. Hamza, kama unataka kuandika kwa Kiswahili andika, hamna tabu, hamna shida. Na kama unataka nikuelezee kwa Kiswahili pia naweza kuelezea. All right, guys, I'm going to give you 3 more minutes. So in the meantime, if there is a question that you think you want me to try, please send me a message on the chat, okay? Hamza, sijafahamu FTNA 2020 manake nini? Nifahamishe. Alright guys, so I'm going to display the answer for question 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? Okay, Hamza, nitaangalia baadaye inshallah. Asante. Alright, so these are the rest of the answers, guys. If you want me to do anything, any of these questions, please send me a chat in the next minute, okay? Okay, I can always go back to these questions if you choose, if you need help on any of them, okay? Right, so I'm going to move on to the next part. So far we have put quadratic expressions into completing the square form. So, for example, this will be your A, this will be your P, so it's +1, and this would be your Q. So your Q in this case is -3, just in case you get asked what Q is. So you must remember to take the sign with you. For example, for this one, A is going to be -1 and P is going to be -3. and then your Q is going to be equal to positive 6. Okay, right, so let's move on to the next part. So we're now going to solve quadratic equations by using the completing the square method. Now you can be asked to give your answer as in radical form or third form. It's the same thing. So when we say radical, it's third. Okay, third is spelled like this. So radicals, same thing. So that means equation or answer that has a square root in this form. Or you could be asked to give your answer as in decimal places, for example 3.1. But I believe for Tanzania, most of the time they don't ask you to give answer in specific form. In this case, just give your answer as a third form or radical form. Okay, otherwise you're gonna have to use a calculator or logs in order to give the answer in decimal places. All right, so here is a question. It says complete the square to find exact solutions to this one. Okay, so this word exact solution, it means you need to give the answer in the radical form, square form. If, for example, you got square root of 2 and then you decide to go on a calculator and give it as 1 point something something, that is not exact solution. Why is it not exact? Because it means you have rounded. Maybe it was 1.3 something, 1.3334 for example, and then you gave your answer as 1.34. It means you have rounded your answer. It is therefore not exact solution. Exact solution must be in a radical form. Okay, so we're now going to solve this by completing the square. Now listen to me now. When we had the expression, we did it slightly differently because we didn't have equal signs. There were not equations. We now have equal sign. That means it is now a quadratic equation, not quadratic expression. What I want you to do to make it easy is to move everything that doesn't have x on it to that side. Okay, so we have plus 2, we're going to do minus 2 on both sides. Okay, so we have x squared minus 8x plus 2 minus 2 is 0, and then we're going to have equal to negative 2. And at this point, once you have removed all your constants, you're going to complete the square. Okay, so our bracket as usual, squared, and put a minus there. We have our x here. There's a minus there, so we're going to put a minus here. We need to halve this one, so 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now take away this number squared, so take away 4 squared. We're going to write it like that, equals to negative 2. So we now need to remove this negative 4 squared. So we know 4 squared is 16. So we're going to have x minus 4 squared minus 16 equals negative 2. We're going to add 16 on both sides. Okay, guys? So I'm going to move on to this side. Now we have x minus 4 squared equals to minus 16 plus 16, that cancels, equals to minus 2 plus 16, that's going to be just 14. Now we need to release this x from the square, from this bracket. What do we need to do? We need to square both sides. So we need to remove the square. This means we're going to have x minus 4 equals to 14 squared. Sorry guys, you need to square root it. So it's square root. So we need to square root here and we need to square root here. Sorry, my language there. So now we're going to have x minus 4 equals to square root of 14. Now at this point, remember, it's a quadratic function, okay? Quadratic equation. It must have two answers. If we just leave it like this, we're going to have one answer. But when you square root something, you're going to have plus or minus. And the reason for this, for example, if I say, what's the square root of 9? The answer to this is minus 3 or just 3, positive 3. Because if I square negative 3, so negative 3 squared, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And then 3 squared is 9. So that is why when you square root, you get plus or minus, okay? And now we need to add 4 on both sides. So we have x equals to 4 plus or minus square root of 14. So your first answer is going to be x equals to 4 plus square root of 14, or it's going to be x equals to 4 minus the square root of 14. These are your exact solution as we were asked here. Next answer and next question, guys. Right, so we have here 6x squared plus 24x plus 6 equal to 0. Now, before you start using the method I used earlier on, when I say the coefficient of x squared is not 1, you need to look at all the numbers. Now, I'm going to look at 6, 24, and 6 here. On this side, I have a 0 anyway. Now, can I get rid of this 6 somehow? Yes, I can. I can divide all the terms and make them divide by 6. So divide by 6 here, divide by 6 here, divide by 6 here, and also divide by 6 here, because it is an equation. You must divide by 6 on both sides. Now 6 divided by 6 is 1, of course, so we're going to write x squared, and then plus 24 divided by 6 is going to be 4x, and then plus 1 equal to 0 divided by 6 is just a 0. Now you don't have to deal with factorizing. However, even if you factorized it, it will give you the same answer, but we don't really need to complicate our situation. Right, I'm going to get rid of plus 1. I just want to leave the ones with x's on one side. So minus 1, minus 1. So now I'm going to have x squared plus 4x equals to minus 1. Remember, don't do this if you have an expression. You can only do this bit if you have an equation which you need to solve. That means moving this one. Okay, so now I'm going to complete the square. So I'm going to open my bracket. So x plus half of that, 2. And make sure you square this bracket. And you take away this number square. So 2 squared is 4 equals to negative 1. Now I'm going to add 4 on both sides. Then I have x plus 2 squared equals to minus 1 plus 4 is 3. Okay, and now I'm going to square root in order to I'll remove the square. Okay, so square root on this side, okay, and then square root on this side. So now I'm going to have x plus 2 equals to, don't forget the plus and minus, square root of 3. And now I need the x, I need to solve, so I need to know what x is. So minus 2 here and minus 2 on this side. So now I have x is equal to minus 2 plus or minus square root of 3. So therefore x is going to be equal to minus 2 plus the square root of 3, and then x is going to be equal to minus 2 minus square root of 3. These are your two solutions. Obviously, if you're asked to give the answer in maybe 2 decimal places or 3 significant figures, then you must use a calculator or logs to get the exact, not exact answer, the rounded answer. These two are the exact solutions. Okay. Now guys, we've got a few minutes to go. So what I would like you to do, maybe we've got 6 minutes to go. If you could choose one of these questions for me to do, let me know in the comment which questions you would like me to do. And then I will leave you with this homework, okay? Next week, we're going to find minimum and maximum points, and then we're going to sketch quadratic equations, and hopefully this will be the end of the completing the square form. If we finish early, we're going to do exam style questions. Now, I'm very happy for you to send me some questions on the chat later on or somewhere on the comments section. Just let me know any question that you want me to do, and I will do that in the next week's session once we have done the sketching. Okay? So there is a question that I'm going to try. I'm going to do question 6 with you, for you guys. Many try to have it because I have a few minutes to spare. So question 6, I'm going to do that in a minute. So x plus 3 squared, I have to copy it fast on my piece of paper, and then I'm going to solve that. So guys, can you take a picture of this, please, before I move it? I will move it, I'll move back the slide, but I just want to get to the next empty slide so I can do the question. I'm going to do question 6 with you guys. So guys, remember to like before you go if you haven't liked. Thank you very much, and that will make me smile. Okay, so I'm going to now do that question 6. Okay, and now I've lost my pen. Right, okay, so I have x plus 3 squared plus x equals 10. Okay, now what you need to do here, you have this x here on its own. What do you think we should do? Well, we do need to expand the bracket here because we can't have it this way. You will not be able to solve it if you have this x separated like this. So we're going to expand this. Okay, so if you expand this expression, remember it's not x squared plus 9, is double brackets, so that is the same as x plus 3, and then x plus 3, that's those two brackets, and then plus x equals 10. Okay, so we're now going to expand this. X times x is x squared, and then these two plus 3 plus 3, that will give us plus 6x, and then plus 9. So that's this part, and then we're going to have plus x equals to 10. All right, so we now need to combine the x. So x squared plus 6x plus x, that's going to be plus 7x, not 5x, guys. 7x plus 9 equals to 10. Now remember, when you solve, remove the constant. So we're going to do minus 9 and minus 9 here. So now we have x squared plus 7x equals to 10 take away 9 is 1. Okay, now we're going to complete the square. Okay, so bracket, okay guys, squared, put a minus there and an x there. So 7, half of 7 is what? We're just going to write it plus 7 over 2. Okay, so that's going to be plus 7 over 2. Don't be scared of using fractions. Okay, minus this number squared. So 7 squared is 49. 2 squared is 4. Okay, this is going to be equal to 1. Now we need to remove this part and just send it to the other side. So we have x plus 7 over 2 squared equals to 49 over 4 plus 1. Now remember, this is fraction now. Let's deal with this fraction, okay? So we need to add them. You must have the same denominator. So if we put this is the same as 1 over 1, we're going to have times 4 here and times 4 there. So we now add the 2. On this side, you'll have 49 plus 4 is 53. So that's going to be 53 over 4. Okay, guys? On this side, you have x plus 7 over 2 squared. Now we're going to square root on both sides in order to actually release this x. So that's going to be x plus 7 over 2 equals to the square root of 53 over 4. Okay, now you know 53, you can take this 4 as over 2. So in order to, remember plus or minus, so this is going to be x equals, this is minus and minus on that side. So that's going to be minus 7 over 2 plus or minus square root of 53. This 4 can now become a 2. Okay, so the first solution is going to be x equals to minus 7 plus square root of 53 over 2. They both have the same denominators, so we can put them together. So that is your first solution. The next solution is going to be x equals to minus 7 minus square root of 53 over 2. Okay, so these are your two solutions, guys. All right, so now I'm going to show you the homework. Okay, so this was question 6, which I have done for you. Okay, going back to the homework then, please take a picture of this, and in a minute I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you next week. Okay, so I'll give you a minute. All right, guys, thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for attending the session. Remember, this is going to help you, and if you have any question, you can always send them to me on the chat. Okay, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you next week. Now, I am doing Form 2 revision tomorrow because yesterday I had technical problems, so that session is going to be tomorrow. Okay, same time. All right, Hamza, usiku mwema, and see you next week. Ushakopi, eh? Okay, good boy. Bye, Hamza, and bye, Mohammed. I'm not sure who the other person is. There's only 3. Okay, bye now.